Hey Libra, how you doing? I'm going to do your love reading for March 2022. So I just want to remind you to like, share, and subscribe. Comment. If you don't like, share, or subscribe, please comment. Let me know if you like the like the reading, like what I'm doing on the channel. For the ones that remain loyal and actually actually help me out by sharing things like that. I'll eventually probably have giveaways or offer free readings, something like that. Astrological reports, numerology reports, all the information, contact information, all that's in the description box and on the About section of my YouTube page. Let's see. And make sure that you check your, this reading is basically for the Sun, Moon, Rising of Libras. But also, make sure that you check your rising sign and your moon sign as well. Or whatever you do, you might go by the rising sign and whatever, but check your other placements in your chart, as well as, being that this is a love reading, check your Venus. You can Google all that and just Google like rising sign calculator, moon sign calculator, Venus sign calculator. But of course, and understand Libras, there are millions of Libras. So I'm basically a medium or a channel that channels certain messages for the ones that are on the frequency of me that would tune into this reading. So it's not going to resonate with everyone. If it doesn't, don't try to make it fit. Don't try to, I find myself doing that, listening to readings sometimes. And then it doesn't happen. I'm like, wait a second, I have to remind myself that not all the messages are for me. So just make sure that, you follow those guidelines and you should be pretty much straight. But us readers, we do ask y'all to at least like it or comment or something, because the reason I'm saying that is because we put our heart and soul into these readings. It takes a great deal of energy to actually do this, and so it's not really too much to ask for people to give back to us so that other people can see us. So basically what I do with this deck that I've got in my hand, this is basically just going to be for general love. These other two decks over here are going to be more for romantic love. So we're going to start out with this love first, because this deck right here can represent people around you. Basically love and relationships around you. It doesn't have to be romantic, but it can. But it could also be self-love. So we'll get started. What are the love messages for Libra, March 2022? What are the love messages for Libra, March 2022? What are the love messages for Libra, March 2022? What are the love messages for Libra, March 2022? We got two that just came out. Change your focus and seek the truth. So I'm going to pull another one, but just off top for those two cards, whatever you're focusing on, Spirit is telling you that it's not that healthy, and it's probably in a relationship thing, and you're focusing. A lot of times it could be an illusion. We're in the energy of Pisces right now, about to move into Aries, which is actually going to be your opposite shadow self, Libra. And when I say opposite, I don't mean like opposite like you think. There's really no such thing as opposites. Like up and down, they're both a direction, even though that it appears to be down is up. If you turn it around, down becomes up becomes down. So all is one. Light and dark is one. Everything is basically one. The illusion of separation is what'll have you thinking stuff is different. So whatever you're focused on right now, it's saying that you need to. And I feel like some of you, the message I'm getting, some of you are investigating, or you are suspicious about someone that you're dating, or someone that your daughter's dating, something like that, and you're focused on that. And it's basically saying, or it could be that you're in some type of an illusion, or somebody around you is very charming, very basically casting charm spells or illusion spells on you. And when I say charming, most people say, "Oh, he's very charming," and they think that is. That's just a normal quality to have. Actually, charming people are natural witches. Because to charm someone is to cast a spell. So it's just like when they talk about your lucky charms and things like that. It ain't just a cereal. It ain't just something you wear around you. It's basically blessed with some type of magic. So be careful for people around you that can be very charming, because charming can indicate that they are manipulators and that they know how to steer the conversation or the relationship or whatever else in the direction for them, if that makes sense. And you could be that, vice versa, it could be you doing that. But whatever you're focusing on is just saying change the focus, and what I'll do is I'll read the intuitive messages first of these cards, and then I will consult the book for added additional messages. Because actually the symbolism usually will resonate a little bit more than the book. It just kind of clarifies things a little bit more. Alright, so what else does Libra need to know for March 2022? What else does Libra need to know for March 2022? What else does Libra need to know for March 2022? Moving on. So, moving on could just be like, maybe it could be saying that moving on, you need to change your focus and move on because, and seek the truth, because this individual that you're thinking about, or the people around you, or the situation, however whatever resonates for the particular Libras that will tune in or may tune in, that you are seeking the truth, you're investigating, you're basically peeling back the curtain of the veil. It's kind of like, like on the Wizard of Oz, where they're opening the curtain to see the illusion behind the curtain. And you're walking into the light, you're walking out of the shadows in a way, to the point to where you're actually starting to see the light, starting to see something for what it truly is. And so this is, and then the direct result is that you're going to catch, you're going to be moving on from that situation, because you've already, for some of you, you've already done this, or you're going to do this. My readings are timeless, so this doesn't have to be right now for March. It could happen a year from now in March. It could happen whenever. So just whatever resonates. You might find yourself coming back to it. But whenever you see it, it's probably when you need to see it. Nothing in life happens by accident. All right. So with the change your focus card, it's number 5. So 5 equals change. And so it has the colors of blue, like a blue sky. There's like a dove, which can represent spirit. That's white. There's white all around it. The white can also, in a way, be a representation of like a cloudy mist in front of you, like you're not being able to see straight, so you need to change your focus, or you've been blinded in illusion. It shows a woman wearing like a kind of like what they do in India, where they wear the hooded things and then the band around it. And she has light blue on. That represents the throat chakra. So it could be something that you've been talking about with other people, and it's saying that you need to change your focus because it's not good for you. Switch your focus from that. It's got a lot of green in there. The green represents emotions of the heart, so it could be topics of the heart that you're engaging in. So basically blue, green, and then this person. So it just shows you kind of looking at something, and so you're the Libra in this card, or the Libra energy, is very focused on something. So it's saying change your focus. It's not good for you. Then seek the truth. Here, let me show you that card too, just in case you can't see it. You pause the video if you need to, to look at it, examine it, and get, actually see what you get out of the symbolism of the card. And then seek the truth. So you see what I was talking about, kind of like the Wizard of Oz thing, and then the walking into the light. You're changing your focus. You're walking into the light, where you can see things. You're walking out of the mist, out of the illusion, out of the clouds, and into the light where you can see things more into the light. And it deals with pink in there, so that pink can also be like, with the hearts. It could be matters of the heart. And it looks like there's 2 minds, so maybe you're walking away from being 2 minds of something, like you were in your head about something, and you didn't know which way to go, and so now you're, walking into the light. Light can represent ideas and more clarity, so maybe you're starting to see things clearly, and you're no longer 2 minds of something, if that makes sense. It looks like there's indigo there too, so indigo and blue, so that can represent, your third eye, your inner vision. And then, it's 5 and then 7, and that's actually 8, so. And 7 represents 7 can represent investigation, it can represent luck, but it could also represent someone that looks up stuff, reads, investigates, studies certain things. But to learn more about what 7 and what it might mean for you, just look up 7 in numerology. But 7 too can equal balance. Like let's see, your sign is what? Your sign, Libras. The 7th house, love and partnerships. The 2 people could represent love and partnerships too. So 7 sign. It can represent the balance there, like walking through that can represent balance because the 2 minds. So maybe you're balancing that out now. And then 8 can be walking away. That's moving on. 8 represents like death and rebirth. So that could be moving on to new beginnings. Changing your focus, moving on from what your focus was on. Could be represent transformation. So moving on to greener pastures. Even though there's no pastures in here, but you know what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying. It shows a man, so it could be like very masculine Libras. This could be somebody in your life. Doesn't have to be you. Could be anything. Like I said, they're timeless. It may not make sense now. I feel like it's going to make sense for some of you. And so what I'll do is I'll go on to I'll pull 2 cards for both of these decks apiece to basically see your romantic messages. So what are Libra's romantic messages for March 2022? What are the romantic messages for Libra March 2022? What are the romantic messages? Okay. You see them flying out, right? Keep an open mind. So for some of you that are skeptical, that are very logical minded for this reading, keep an open mind. Moving on, it could be saying, keep an open mind when you're moving on to other things. You've been disillusioned possibly in this reading. You've been disillusioned. Your mind was clouded. You may not want to trust people because of that. So it's just saying keep an open mind. Not everybody's the same. That's what that card looks like, and I'll read the description for you. So your soulmate may differ from your usual type and expectations. So it could be that too. What are the romantic messages for Libra March 2022? What are the romantic messages for Libra? Okay. Very soon. Clearly decide what you want so that it comes to you now. So that could represent, like what I was telling you about being the 2 minds of something. It's basically saying, that you're making that decision, you're walking into light with greater clarity. So this card is just confirming that. That's what you need to do. So you need to make it, be decisive and make a decision. It can be hard in the, in the energy of Pisces, because Pisces can be very indecisive. And let's see. What are the romantic messages for Libra, March 2022? Past life. So either this person that you were dealing with was a karmic soulmate, they were a past life person. If you notice, it's showing basically like the, Egypt there in the card, like the mask of a pharaoh, basically one that's been, mummified. So for Libras that are watching this and you feel, the person that you feel like you've known them before, you have some type of connection with them, that's just confirming to you that that's what that was. It's a past life issue. It could also be a past life issue that you're dealing with. Just whatever this means to you, whatever resonates. But the soulmate that's coming in too, that could also mean the soulmate either that's already in your life or the person that's coming in that, it says keep an open mind because you have past life karma to work out, could be for some of you. Alright, so what else does Libra need to know for romantic love, March 2022? Shit, that's way too many cards, I'm going to have to shuffle them again. What else does Libra need to know for March 2022 love, romantic love? What other messages does Libra need to know for March 2022? What other messages does Libra need to know for March 2022?